All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are tackling a really big question, Why is it that some companies just seem to take off and fly, while others, even with what looks like a brilliant strategy, just fall flat? Well, the answer is usually hiding in plain sight, woven right into the fabric of the company itself.
I mean, you've seen this happen, right? A company rolls out this fantastic new plan, a total game changer, and you're thinking, wow, this is it. And then, crickets. It just fizzles out, and you're left scratching your head wondering, what on earth went wrong? The idea was great.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the matter. The strategy itself might be perfect on paper, but if the company's internal wiring isn't built to handle it, it's kind of like trying to tow a truck with a piece of twine. It's just not going to work. It's set up to fail before it even gets going.
So here's the big takeaway. A strong rope gets its strength from 3 different strands being twisted together. You've got the company's culture, that's how people think, what they value. You have its structure, the official org chart, who answers to whom. And finally, its human resources practices. That's the whole shebang, who you hire, how you train them, and how you pay them. When those 3 things are in sync, that rope is strong enough to pull any strategy across the finish line.
So, to really get a handle on this, what we're going to do is unravel that rope. We're going to look at each of those 3 strands one by one, because this is where you can really see how it all works.
So let's just lay them out real quick. You've got culture, which is basically the company's personality. It's the unwritten rules, the vibe. Then there's structure, which is like the skeleton, the formal org chart. And then you have HR, which are the systems that manage all the people inside that skeleton. For any company to truly succeed, these 3 have to be playing the same tune. Okay, let's dig into the first strand. And honestly, it's the trickiest, but also the most powerful one. Culture. And there's a perfect metaphor for it, the iceberg. You can think of culture as the social glue of a company. It's that invisible force that holds everyone together. It's the shared understanding of, hey, this is who we are, this is what we care about, and this is how we do things around here. It really is the company's personality. And this is why the iceberg model is so brilliant. Because what it shows us is that most of a company's culture is stuff you can't even see. The things we notice on the surface, like the dress code or the office layout, that's just the tiny tip. The real power, the real driver of behavior, is lurking deep underwater. So let's break that down. At the very top, you have the observable stuff. Think dress code, awards on the wall, company stories. Right below the water, you have the espoused values. This is what the company says it cares about. It's the mission statement on the website. But way down at the bottom, in the deep, are the basic assumptions. These are the core beliefs that are so deeply ingrained, people don't even realize they have them. That is the true heart of a company's culture. All right, let's paddle over to our second strand, structure. Now, if culture is the company's personality, then structure is its skeleton. It provides the framework and dictates how everything gets done. So it's really the formal system. It answers all the basic questions: who does what, who reports to whom, and how do all these moving parts actually work together to hit those big company goals. I mean, without a clear structure, you've just got chaos. And a really big part of structure is its shape. You can basically think of it in 2 flavors, tall and flat. Tall organizations are that classic pyramid with lots of layers of management. Flat organizations have fewer layers, so managers have more people reporting directly to them. Now, here's the thing. Neither one is automatically better. It completely depends on what the company is trying to do and what its culture is like. So, we've got our 3 strands now: culture, structure, and HR. And here's where it all comes together. The real secret sauce is getting them aligned. When you purposely match a certain type of culture with the right structure and the right HR policies, you get one of 4 very common and very successful blueprints for a company. And this right here is the map that explains it all. It's called the Competing Values Framework. It basically organizes companies on 2 simple scales. Are they focused inward, on their own people, or outward, on the competition? And do they value flexibility and change, or stability and control? This gives us 4 unique types of companies. First up, in the top left, you have the clan culture. The name says it all. Think of a big, close-knit family. It's super collaborative, and the main focus is on taking care of its employees. So the structure is usually flatter to encourage teamwork, and HR is all about training and morale. The grocery chain Wegmans is a perfect example. They're famous for how well they treat their people. Then we have the adhocracy culture. These guys are all about taking risks and creating the next big thing. To make that happen, their structure has to be super flexible, often built around temporary project teams. And their HR systems,
They're not rewarding people for just showing up. They're rewarding them for groundbreaking ideas. Think of a medical device company like Baxter International that has to constantly innovate to survive.
Next up is the market culture. These companies are tough, competitive, and laser-focused on the bottom line. Their whole structure is built to react to what's happening in the market, and their HR systems are all about rewarding high achievers with things like big bonuses. Tyson Foods is a great example, a company driven hard by productivity and profits.
And finally, we have the hierarchy culture. This one is all about control, efficiency, and making sure things run smoothly and predictably. It relies on that tall structure we talked about, with lots of rules and clear chains of command. And HR is focused on making sure everyone follows the procedure every single time. The absolute classic example? McDonald's. It's a well-oiled machine designed for consistency.
Okay, so we've looked at all these blueprints and how companies work. But now, let's make this personal. Why does any of this stuff actually matter to you and your career? Well, it turns out it's incredibly important.
It all boils down to this one crucial idea: person-organization fit. And listen, this has nothing to do with your skills or qualifications. This is about your values. How well does your personal DNA match the cultural DNA of your workplace? When it's a good fit, you're more likely to be happy and successful. But when it's a bad fit, well, it's a recipe for being miserable.
So how do you figure this out before you're already stuck in the wrong job? It's actually a pretty simple three-step process. First, you've got to know yourself. Be really honest about what makes you tick. Second, do your homework on the company. And I mean really dig deep into their culture. And third, go into that interview with smart questions ready. Questions that help you figure out if you'll actually fit in.
And believe me, this isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. It has massive real-world impact. Get this. A recent survey found that a whopping 90% of recruiters have seen new hires walk out the door specifically because of a bad culture fit. And it's usually because the reality of the company didn't match what they were sold in the interview. Finding the right fit is a huge deal, for you and for the business.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Take a hard look at your own job, or the one you're thinking about taking. Are the three strands of that company's rope, its culture, its structure, and its people practices, are they all woven together in a way that's pulling you forward? Or are they all tangled up, actually holding you back? The answer to that question changes everything.